Alright, what's up guys? Leo the Video Game Guy here, and I'm here with an awesome top 5 video that I think you guys are gonna...
How much you asking on this?
Dan, what are you doing in my room, man?
What am I doing in your room? I'm shopping!
Yeah, but how'd you get in here right now?
That doesn't matter. You sell video games, right?
Yeah, you got a point. You wanna know how much the game is?
How much?
Really? $5?
Sold.
What's up guys, this is Leo the Video Game Guy here, and I'm here with a top 5 Super Nintendo game of all time video. I'm here with my friend,
Dan the Link.
Now this is a list that is not your conventional top 5 of all time games. This is basically the games that we personally grew up with, we just played as kids, and they are just kind of our personal favorites. You know, we're not going to do ports like Doom or UN Squadron, you know.
Also no arcade ports, so that means no Street Fighters, no Mortal Kombats, no beat-em-ups, that sort of thing. Basically, this is games that originally came out on the SNES.
Yes. Now, let's start. My number 5, the ever-popular Donkey Kong Country. Now, when Donkey Kong Country came out for the Super Nintendo, it was actually quite impressive. The graphics were top-notch during that time. It definitely showed gamers what the Super Nintendo could do. The soundtrack was actually one of my favorite parts of the game as well, and the levels and the bosses just got more and more difficult. I know gamers these days often, you know, cite Donkey Kong as being a pretty difficult game, and I think you and I growing up, it was pretty much routine.
So my number 5 is going to be Super Return of the Jedi. This game was fantastic. Also, great soundtrack, great graphics. I loved all the twirling around you could do with the lightsaber. Giant boss battles with that life bar that just seemed to stretch across the entire screen when you were a kid and go on forever. I love the fact that you played as the appropriate character for the level, and also that all the key scenes were in there. You know, you had the speeder bike races through the Death Star, everything. It was a great game, but extremely frustrating.
My number 4 is going to be the ever-popular Mega Man X. Now, I loved playing Mega Man X growing up. This is definitely a very difficult series. Mega Man cited, obviously, one of the most difficult video game series of all time.
Extremely, and Mega Man X just took it a little bit further than the original ones.
Yeah, the bosses were just difficult, my goodness, and each boss was very unique and very different. You know, each one had a very specific power.
You had to figure out the best route in which to beat the bosses, because you could select anyone to go for first.
Non-linear. In each appropriate level, not all of them, but I think there was about 3 or 4 levels where you would get a power-up. So you would get the chest piece, the armor,
the legs,
the better helmet,
and the better buster.
Exactly. You usually wanted to do those levels first to try to get those, you know, power-ups to, you know, to beat these bosses. And then, of course, in the respective levels, there was different things. You'd have to go back and do them again because you know, there was one where there was like these ice cube things you had to break with the helmet. You needed a special helmet to do so.
And also, you go back and get the Hadouken.
Right.
And that's right. Ryu's Hadouken is in Mega Man X.
Wow.
My number 4 is actually Donkey Kong Country.
Nice. We have this in common.
Yes. Notice this. We have some things in common, you know.
Good tasting
no
games.
beard, going bald, not going bald. We have to have something in common. So Donkey Kong Country is my number 4. This is a game I loved as a kid. I think it's one of Rare's best pieces of work on the Super Nintendo. Very memorable, very colorful, great sound effects, great gameplay. The controls were tight and fantastic. And there's that rail car stage.
Oh my god, those
rail car
stage
was horribly difficult. It was a high-speed, timing-based level, and the worst part about it was is if you died and you got a game over, you had to go back like 4 or 5 levels to the last save point
my gosh.
And redo a boss battle, and then like 2 more levels before you can even try the rail car stage.
It felt like you were like Indiana Jones as a monkey.
Yeah.
Alright, my number 3 is going to go to, of course, Robotrek. Now, I know this is a game that I don't think most people know about. It's kind of an uncommon game. It was actually a really good RPG. You actually controlled pocket-sized robots, very similar to Pokemon, but this game came out before Pokemon. You would throw the balls out or whatever, and the robot would come out, and you had these customized robots that could destroy people with swords and missiles and things like that, and it was an adventure, a kind of a fantasy-based RPG that had to do with time travel and things like that. So it was actually a really cool game. I was really impressed by this game. I think it's worth about $35 to $40 on eBay.
It's one of those rare ones that isn't commanding a lot because it's unknown. It's rare because it's unknown.
Right, and I wish more people knew about it. It's actually kind of the true spiritual predecessor to the Pokemon games.
Oh, really?
Because it was actually, if I'm not mistaken, the first RPG that the protagonist, being the main character that you control, didn't do the fighting or the combat. You actually threw something else out to do the fighting for you.
Alright, so my number 3 is going to be the ever-famous Mario Kart. Now, this game was fantastic when it came out. It was one of those racers, but it wasn't a serious racer. It was one of those games you could sit down and have the split-screen battles with your friend, either on the track or enter the battle mode. There were all the crazy weapons, like the banana shells, the stars. There was the feather in that one, which could make you jump. And
that was actually a very handy
because
little
red
weapon.
Shell's coming, you jump, and it would miss you.
Number 2 is going to be Super Mario World.
You got Yoshi for the first time.
Exactly. You have Yoshi, you have the flying cape, which was kind of an upgrade from like
the
raccoon flying thing. The top secret levels you could find. You had the Star Road. You had
all the Koopa children again,
exactly,
but better this time.
All the different Koopas. There was like 7 variations. I thought that was really cool too.
Have you ever beaten the Star Road, gotten the special world above the Star Road, beaten all of that, and then all the enemies in the game change?
Oh, I don't think I have.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. Mario stomping on Marios.
Seriously. You know what happens is I think all the Goombas changed to pumpkin heads, right?
Yes.
That was weird, but I was like, okay, pumpkin heads.
Number 2 for me is going to be Star Fox.
Nice.
I mean, a lot of people give this guff because of the polygon graphics, but you know, look at the system and the time. We had never seen anything like that. The first-person cockpit mode, which you get into in the second level, was fantastic. All the big boss fights, the epic boss battles with the crazy incoming enemy music that would always pop up and get your heart pumping.
I just had a blast. I pop it in and I'm like, yeah, dude, like there's the 3D graphics. Like you said, it was so unprecedented at the time.
And the ship upgrades.
Right.
Twin Blaster.
Alright, so before I get to my number 1 favorite Super Nintendo game of all time, and again, remember that's my personal number 1 favorite, guys. There's some great honorable mentions I have to mention that didn't quite make my list that were games that I just played the shit out of growing up. Aladdin by Capcom. The Super Nintendo version is a little bit different, in fact a lot different than the Sega Genesis version.
It was even a different person made it.
Yep, you didn't use a sword, and apples were your primary form of attack. Batman Returns, a really nice beat 'em up, kind of very similar to Final Fight.
Smash people into trash cans, into windows.
Jurassic Park. You fought raptors, you fought the T-Rex, you fought Triceratops, you fought the spitter dinosaurs, you fought the little tiny little annoying things from Jurassic Park 2: The Lost World. One of the most difficult things though about Jurassic Park was of course the fact that you couldn't save your damn game. Literally,
no matter, this was a long game.
No matter how far you got in the game, you could not save it. You had to somehow beat this in one sitting without your Super Nintendo freezing.
So basically, if you guys want to check out Jurassic Park, it is a prehistoric Easter egg hunt where you can die.
Alright, my number 1 favorite Super Nintendo game of all time, Super Mario RPG.
Legend of the Seven Stars.
Legend of the Seven Stars. Now you combine my 2 favorite elements, Super Mario and RPG, you're probably going to get a pretty good game. I was actually pretty surprised. This is a game by Squaresoft.
Same people that did Final Fantasy, if you don't know.
And it's a great game. There's a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of different upgrades and mushrooms and potions and weapons. And
another fantastic part about this game is actually the first game, I believe, other than Mario Kart maybe, where Bowser was a playable character.
Yes, and he was on your side.
He was on your side.
You start the game, you're fighting Bowser, he's got Princess, and then all of a sudden an even bigger evil comes from the sky. And what's Bowser and Mario to do but team up and take on this bigger evil? This is actually really cool. Some other really cool, interesting characters are included in the game, including Mallow and Geno.
Geno, we have all been dying to see Geno in Smash Bros.
Yes.
Nintendo, please, Geno in Smash Bros.
Come on. And you also get to play as Princess Toadstool, although in this game, of course, Princess Peach.
Yes.
But my goodness did I enjoy this game when I played it, and if you haven't played it yet and you're an RPG fan, I genuinely feel you're missing out.
Yes. Alright, so I got some honorable mentions for you guys before I give you my number 1. My first honorable mention is actually Super Mario World.
Nice.
I found it very hard to actually not put this on my list. So my next honorable mention is actually F-Zero. Still to this day, fantastic game to sit down and play, and still looks gorgeous.
Futuristic racing.
Pilot Wings.
Oh, yes.
Pilot Wings, it was, you know, all around, obviously, aviation, and you could fly different things, and you had to get your license in order to move on to the next level and fly a bigger plane.
Dan the Link's number 1.
My number 1, being Dan the Link, is A Link to the Past. The
Cheers.
Legend of Zelda.
Cheers to
Cheers.
that. Cheers.
Now, I played the crud out of this game. I mean, it took everything from the first game and just expanded upon it. The soundtrack is fantastic. They added the new Light World, Dark World, and it actually is the first game where in-game you get a nice backstory to Hyrule.
Absolutely.
And the priestesses and all that sort of stuff. If you haven't played that or any of the games on this list, well, I don't know what you're doing watching a video game channel.
So, let us know what you guys think. Comment in the comment section below right there. And that's, of course, right after you hit the like button. Hit that like button. But, of course, comment in the comment section below and tell us what your top 5 is. Do just a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tell us what your favorite top 5 games were growing up. Let us know what you guys think.
And keep the same rules we did. Games that only originally came out on the SNES. No arcade ports. And no PC games that were then ported to the SNES.
Yes, and also, we also didn't include Super Mario All-Stars because that is a compilation. Now, if you guys haven't checked out Dan the Link's channel, click on that comment section below. As you guys can see, he's very, very, very knowledgeable about video games. He's passionate about video games, and he wants subscribers to make videos for him. You need subscribers to want to make videos. You know what I'm saying?
I love video games, and I love making these videos for you guys. And new subscribers just gives me that push to go out and do it. Practice this trait, make it better and better. So anybody who's going to go check out my channel in advance, my thanks.
He's new to this, guys, so let's get him over 100 subscribers. He just started. He's got 75 subscribers. I bet you after this video we can get 25 subs. 25 subs. Really quickly, just click on that comment section below right there. You're going to see a link to his channel, and just hit subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys so much for joining us here today. I am Leo, the video game guy, and this is
Dan the Link.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace! How did I get here? It's besides the point, son. Red wine is the weed of alcohol. Woosah! I need to become classier. I'm on YouTube. I'm on TV. On television. Alright, focus. 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 The stage is my soul. The stage is my soul. The stage is